Hello, this is Cho of the Shiny Colors Discord. Welcome to another episode of the Shiny Review. Today we've got two new cards to talk about. We have the new Produce SSR for Hana, as well as the Support SSR for Madoka. Now keep in mind that both of these cards are limited, and because reruns and Shiny Colors don't seem to mesh all that much anymore, even with Bridal banners, because I figured we'd at least get the Bridal rerun this year, but I guess we're not. Maybe we'll get it later, hopefully. This card, or rather these cards, may not return in the future, so if you want them, now is really your only chance outside of paid-only step-ups. With that said, let's start off with Hana, who is a pure dance unit. Her initial appeal is a dance 3.5 to all judges that raises your passive skill strength by 10% for 3 turns and grants you 1 mulligan. This links into a dance 80% buff for 4 turns. The upgraded version of the appeal is a dance 4.5 to all judges, raises your passive skill strength by 20% for 3 turns, and grants 1 mulligan. This links into the same dance 80% for 4 turns. For her passives, her 1-star passive is a dance 60% up if it's turned to her earlier and has a 35% chance to activate once. Her 2-star passive is a dance 100% up and memory gauge 10% up if you have the full comedic lineup and has a 20% chance to activate twice. Lastly, her 4-star passive is a dance 150% up if you have 4 or more comedic members in your skill history. This has a 25% chance to activate 3 times. Here is her total stat uncaps. By default, you get plus 100. By 2-star, you're up to 150. Then you have 300 and 450 at max. Her memory appeal, when maxed out, is a dance 2.3 that fortifies your dance buffs, and links into a dance 2.5 that fortifies your dance buffs. Hana is overall good, but she's kind of a little confused. That's more or less how I feel about this card. Having mulligans on her appeal is good. This plays perfectly into what Comedic wants to do in regards to change appeals and being able to trade out things for different effects. Good stuff. However, her passive wants you to have Comedic members in your skill history, and that's not what change appeals do. So it's a little bit counterintuitive because of that. The Fortifier and a memory appeal also feels a little bit whatever because she doesn't necessarily stack up a ton of buffs unless she's link appealing, and the team itself may be able to do that, but it feels like a very strange payoff when that doesn't really feel like what Comedic is absolutely trying to do. It's like she wants to try to appeal to all these different types of playstyles, but then doesn't focus on them entirely. Maybe that's some kind of special storytelling we've got going on here within card design. The memory gauge passive, of course, is good. It's nice to have one of those on this, especially with the looming threat of parallel collection for any unit at this point. And regardless of her appeals, the 4-star passive is also just good. Like, that's just a good buff to have for Dance Comedic. If you're looking for cards to pair her with, My Songs Collection Luca continues to be the better option over Luca 2, and Haruki's Twilight's Collection is still one of the better things you can be running anyway. Really, the biggest problem is that they don't have any sort of dedicated supports that feel particularly good yet. So, if you're building Dance Comedic, keep an eye out for more supports that will make the team a little more playable for you. As for now, Hana earns an A to an A+ as a unit, and I would say about an A as a center. Maybe a little better, maybe A+, depends on how many buffs they get in the future. So then, we have Madoka, who is also a dance card. Madoka's masteries include Unit Mastery SP reaching plus 10 at level 70, plus 6 at level 50. Excellent Boost, which reaches plus 3 at level 5, Room Mastery, which reaches plus 8 at level 80, otherwise plus 5 at level 75, or plus 3 at level 60. Dance Stay Mastery, which reaches plus 2 at level 75, and is the only instance of it having a level, and Dance Mastery Stamina, which reaches plus 5 at level 80, otherwise plus 3 at level 65. I think that ideally you want this Madoka at 2 stars if you want the most out of her Unit Mastery SP. If you are trying to run her outside of Nocchill or just want that extra boost, then it's not a bad idea to go to 4-star, but it does kind of depend on what exactly you are trying to build as we get into her actual kit. Said kit involves her 2 appeals, the initial one being a Dance 3.0 that raises your attention by 50% for 4 turns. The 4-star version of the appeal is a Dance 3.5 that raises your attention by 50% for 4 turns, and also grants a 50% dance buff for 4 turns. As for the passives, the 1-star passive isn't too notable, it's a dance 50% up. Her 2-star passive is a dance 110% up and attention 50% up if you have 1 or more active attention up buffs. This has a 20% chance to activate twice. Remember, active buffs mean buffs you gain through an appeal. So that means that either of her appeals can trigger her 2-star passive. Her 4-star passive is a dance 100% up if you are in the leader position and has a 20% chance to activate once. Madoka is overall fine. I think this card is actually pretty decent. But it comes off as a little less versatile than the last Dance Madoka support, which is a permanent SSR. And for the most part, people are using that card and will probably continue to use that card over this one, unless you are specifically building around attention. There's room for this card to be played in units like Dance Hokura and even Dance Shis that experiment with attention up, so that gives a slightly different niche by comparison, but it's also still not a difficult thing to run the old Madoka in the same builds. She's not really a game breaker for Dance Nocchill, but it's a neat little pickup to potentially work on the side if you're trying something a little bit different. I would give this card an A-. Not quite a B+ card. I still think that because of her passives, and because of the interesting applications of it, she's not exactly a low of the high tier cards, but I think she is very solid overall. So, that will do it for the video today. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Next time we'll be talking about whatever banner comes next. Apparently we're getting another bridal banner. Some people are theorizing it might be a Parallel Collections card, which could certainly be interesting depending on who they pick. Hopefully it's not the one that I've been rumored about hearing, but we'll have to see. Till then, I've been Cho. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day.